G'day, it's Chris here from Stoney Creek Campers. Today we're going to do the hookup process for the DO35 coupling. I'll get the car now and we'll back on underneath this coupling. We'll get someone to guide us in so that it's controlled, it's slow and it's safe. When reversing, you never want to rush. Always take your time, do it once and get it right. Alright, so the car's centered nicely underneath the DO35, so we can proceed to wind down the jockey wheel. Until the vehicle and the DO35 have taken the load. At this point here, the next step, this one here is critical. If you do not press this red button, the coupling isn't locked. It's not locked onto the vehicle, and if you hit a big bump, it could very well leave the vehicle. So, critical step, the red button needs to be pressed like so. You'll hear it snap across, and then that will not be able to leave the vehicle. This cap here will then push down on top. While we're here at this point, I'll just show you about this cap. It's a built-in safety feature in these. So, say for example, we've just wound it down and we hadn't pushed this red button, the cap will not click down on top, it will stay loose. So it's a bit of a, it doesn't matter how hard you try, it will not stay down. So it's a bit of a safety feature there. If you haven't pushed that button, the cap won't click. So if your cap goes on, you know you've done it right. From here, we'll hook up the rest of the components to the camper. So we've got our safety chains. We'll throw them through the correct position on your vehicle. Mine is just underneath the hitch here. Alright, I'm just going to have a quick chat about the breakaway on the drawbar of your van or camper trailer. It's not a requirement on all of the campers, but the hybrids and the FFs have all got this sitting on top. So the components for the breakaway are the cable and the box itself. This cable is come from the factory at quite a long length. That allows you to attach it to a part of your vehicle. They recommend that is not the tow bar. So depending on your vehicle, you should be able to have enough length there to wrap it up over and attach it to a part on the vehicle. Some people will attach it to the chains because that is the only spot that's possible with their particular tow vehicle, but basically when you take possession of your camper, that's going to be quite long. So I do recommend shortening it if it needs to be. The way it works, it will pull out in an emergency. So if the camper has left the vehicle, the idea is that will pull this out and it will apply the brakes to the camper and bring it safely to a stop. Once they do come out, you will notice that there's a couple of little grooves in the side. That needs to be vertical with the grooves on the side for it to push back in. It will only go one way. Push it back in until it snaps in and it's all back to normal. Here we'll take our handbrake and we'll release that so we cannot forget. I like to do that fairly early in the stage of hookup, that way you're not going to drive home with your handbrake on. We can take the jockey wheel off the rest of the way now. Undo that latch. It's up to you where you want to stow your jockey wheel. Personally, I like to put it in the car. Other people like it in the camper. I find metal on metal tends to scratch, so I'll put it in the back of my car on the carpet. The last thing to do before we tow this home is to have a walk around. So we know we've got some chocks underneath those wheels from when we set up camp. So we'll walk around now, we'll take those chocks out, and we'll just make sure that everything is secure and ready for the tow home. Our cupboards and latches, make sure they're all closed. Our legs, you want to basically lift them and make sure that these pins have seated correctly. You know it's not going to drop down on you on the highway. We can take these chocks out now. Go our way around, we'll check that the door's latched properly. These ones under here, make sure that they're up. You can take a step back to have a look at things like roof hatches, latch-in pins to hold the roof down. Make sure that your windows are a good one too. Make sure that you've closed those. The whole close-up process can be sometimes a little bit rushed. Maybe bad weather coming over or something like that. So just try to take the time to know that you're going to get home safely and you're not going to ruin a fantastic holiday. All right, so now the last thing we're going to do before we hit the road, we're going to look for a light check. So what you want is you want someone in the vehicle able to push those brakes and the indicators for you as you call it out. So we'll just call that out now. We'll say left indicator. Perfect. Thank you. We'll say right indicator. That's lit up nicely. And now if we can hit the brakes, please. And they're all working nicely. So we know that we're safe to hit the road now, and the people behind us are going to know exactly what we're doing. That's about it, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for coming along. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you've learnt a tip or two.